We're standing right on the edge of one of the biggest leaps in artificial intelligence, a shift that's truly going to change how we interact with technology forever. So today, let's dive into the amazing world of multimodal chatbots and how they're learning to see and hear our world, not just read about it. Seriously, just stop and think about that for a second. We're all so used to typing things into a little box and getting some text back. But what if that whole conversation could be so much richer? What if your AI assistant could actually understand what you're saying, see the picture you're holding up, and maybe even hear the excitement in your voice? And that one question right there just blows the doors off the old way of doing things. We're talking about a massive leap from just, typing at our devices to actually having a real, multi-sensory interaction with them. I mean, think about how you and I talk. It's not just the words, right? It's our tone of voice, it's our facial expressions, it's everything happening around us. All of that is information. And for an AI to really, truly get us, it has to be able to process that entire picture, not just the text on a screen. And that's where this key idea comes in, multimodality. It sounds kind of technical, but all it really means is that an AI can handle different modes of information, like text, images, and audio, all at the same time. It stops being just a chatbot and becomes more like an everything bot, all rolled into one. So what's the real difference? Well, you can think of a standard chatbot like a one-lane road. Text comes in, text goes out. Simple. But a multimodal chatbot, that's a communication superhighway. It's taking in images and sound right alongside your text, and then it can respond with words, with speech, or even with a branding picture. Okay, so that's what it is. But the big question is, how does it actually work? How on earth do you build an AI that can see, hear, and understand all at once? Well, it all comes down to a few core building blocks. So it basically happens in 3 stages. First, the AI has to kind of fuse its senses. It takes the pixels from an image and the words from your question and translates them into a common language so it can see how they're connected. Then the reasoning engine kicks in. This is the real brain of the operation. It's figuring out what you really want. It doesn't just see a dog, it understands you're asking about the breed of that specific dog in the photo you sent. And finally, it puts together the best possible response using its whole toolkit, text, speech, or maybe even a new visual. All right, enough with the technical stuff. This is where it gets really cool. What does this actually look like out in the real world? Let's check out how this technology is already starting to change, well, everything. Okay, picture this. You're scrolling online and you see the perfect chair, but it's way too expensive. Instead of trying to type a clunky description into a search bar, you just show a picture to the AI and say, find me something like this, but cheaper and with good reviews. This just completely changes online shopping, moving it away from awkward keywords toward just pointing at what you want. And this is where the technology becomes, well, just incredibly important. The potential for making the world more accessible is huge. An AI could use your phone's camera to describe a busy street to someone who's visually impaired in real time, or it could listen to a lecture and generate an animation of someone signing it. This isn't just a cool feature. It's life-changing tech that gives people a new level of independence. But it's not just about understanding the world as it is. It's about helping us create a new one. An architect could doodle a rough sketch on a napkin, upload it, and add a prompt like, make this a modern house with a lot of natural light, and get back detailed floor plans. It just speeds up the creative process and turns the AI from a simple tool into a real creative partner. So you can see, right, when you add all this up, it's so much bigger than just a fancier chatbot. We are really witnessing a brand new era of how we connect with our technology. One that's way more natural, intuitive, and frankly, way more powerful than anything we've had before. There's this quote from researcher Anand Vemula that just nails it. He said, "The true goal is a seamless conversation between humanity and technology." And that's it, right there. The endgame isn't just a smarter machine. It's making the connection so smooth that talking to our tech feels just like talking to another person. So at the end of the day, we're shifting from tools that we just operate to partners we can actually collaborate with. And that leaves us with this one giant question to think about. When the devices in our pockets can see, hear, and understand our world the way we do, how will our world change? We'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for joining us.